Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Now, there's been a massive update in the case of John George. Now, we've covered this case. This is such a very sad case, of course, as they all are. John George went missing last December. He'd come out. So let's start from the beginning. So John George is Northern Irish. He lives in Northern Ireland, or he lived in Northern Ireland. Came out on holiday to Alicante in Spain. It's thought that he may have been lured out there, but we don't know that for sure. Hopefully we'll find out soon, because the court case will be coming soon. He then disappeared. His family couldn't get hold of him. And then, unfortunately, a few weeks later, after his family had come out to Spain to search for him in vain, given like red herrings by the supposed alleged killers and their associates as to where John George's body was, because the family were aware, had been told or tipped off, that he probably was deceased. So they were searching for John George's body all over Christmas and New Year, right into January, before he was finally found, localized, I was going to say, I'm going into a bit of Spanglish there, by the Guardia Civil, we think, on a tip-off from an accomplice to the alleged killer in this case. So he was found. It turned out he'd been stabbed, he'd been shot, he'd been dragged out took off to a lemon grove in Rojales in Spain. He was dead. But at least his family had the resolution of taking him back to Ireland, to Northern Ireland, and being able to lay him to rest respectfully. So then it became the sort of justice. At first it was find John George, then it was justice for John George. And one of the alleged perpetrators was arrested or handed himself in and was released on bail. And the other alleged perpetrator, or the actual person who did it, according to the other person, fled, went on the run, and was eventually found in Portugal, extradited to Spain, and brought back to face charges. So that's where we were. Now, the Guardia Civil, this massive, and it is a massive update. Oh, here's Riley coming for a good one. They announced that they finished their investigation. Now, this is how it works in Spain. This is another reason why everything is so secretive, because in Spain, they do the investigation first before they even sort of arrest someone, or it's like it's almost like the investigation takes place when they feel they've got everything, then the court case starts. And they probably would not arrest a perpetrator before that, unless there was reason to think there might be a danger to people, to society. Anyway, so this is the massive update. So the Guardia Civil now in all the Spanish newspapers, it's saying that the investigation is finished. So this means that we will get court date soon. But anyway, I want to read to you this information in Todo Alicante, which is a Spanish newspaper. I don't know if it's just online or not. But anyway, I want to show it you, and of course it's in Spanish, but as we go, I will read it for you. Now, this is such good news. I mean, I know it doesn't bring John George back, but, Spanish justice can take such a long time. This is quite quick, believe it or not. So, if it's true that the case has been investigated and it's about to go to court, that's very, very quick for Spain. So the Guardia Civil resolves the crime of George, an investigation that's gone from Benidorm to Portugal. So the Armed Institute has managed to capture the accomplice and also the person who actually committed the crime, who fled to Braga after discovering the body of the young man in Rocales 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after his disappearance. I think it was a bit more than 2 weeks, but anyway. Now, the Guardia are showing this video, and it's unusual for them to show any videos. What is this? Is this actually to do with this case? Operación Resistente? Yeah, well, that's the blood stains, wasn't it, on the road where they think he was dragged. There's the lemon grove, where he was just discarded like rubbish and left there. Now, I'm not sure what this has got to do with it. So this is an apartment, obviously. This is not Johnny Smith's apartment. So his apartment was much more modern than this. I don't know whose apartment this is, but the police are searching it. They seem to have found something there. What have they found? Let's have a look. Is it a mobile? Looks like Semtex. What the hell is it? Be funny if it had a bocadillo in it at the end of it. Anyway, mobile. Yeah. So they're showing off those things for some reason. Who knows why? So at the end of 2024, John George disappeared, a Northern Irish citizen who, like a lot of other young British people, arrived to the province of Alicante to have a good time, to sunbathe and enjoy his life with his friends. However, the destination didn't have the same plans. It was his father who denounced in December, or basically reported him as a missing person after speaking with him. Fatally, 2 weeks later, after the denuncia, a denuncia is a statement, basically. The Guardia Civil found the corpse of the young man, and in 5 months, they've resolved the case and detained the 2 people as the presumed accomplice and the actual murderer. It has not been easy. The investigators have had to go to from Benidorm to Rocales, and from Vega Baja, which is like Alicante area, to Portugal to capture the supposed people responsible for the murder of George. The investigation started after receiving the denuncia from the father of the victim, who on the 21st of December communicated to the Guardia Civil of Javier that they had not had any contact with his son. So Javier is not Alicante. Anyway, a young man of 37 years. So he had not had contact with him from Saturday, the 14th of December, when he spoke with him the last time on the telephone. According to what the agent said, so believing that he was in Benidorm, and given that they had no trace of him, his father came to Spain with the intention of finding him and putting the facts into the knowledge of the Guardia Civil in that moment. And the Guardia Civil began then the reconstruction of what could have happened. The investigation started from the moment that the young man, the disappeared man, arrived in Spain on the 6th of December 2024, and has found all the people that had contact with him from that day and taken statements from the witnesses. On the day that the victim contacted his father for the last time, he would have been in the company of two people, the same ones who became the principal suspects in his disappearance. Keeps going unresponsive, this page. I'm going, oh no, it's still there. And at that moment, the Guardia Civil realised that it was involuntary. The autopsy has revealed that the death happened on the 14th of December by wounds realised with a a gun. It was the same day that the victim spoke to his father for the last time, and a week before the father denounced that he was missing, or reported him as a missing person. I'm going to go to this other newspaper because, you know, that one just keeps... So this is the lead. This is sort of a local newspaper to the Orihuela Costa. It says, Rocales murder case closed. John George's killers caught after global pursuit. And basically, it's just repeating that other one, but they've translated it. So maybe I can get... Yeah, here we go. So from that moment, investigators retraced George's footsteps from Benidorm's vibrant streets to the more secluded terrain of Rocales, a town that would ultimately become the grim backdrop to this tragedy. With painstaking precision, officers of the Judicial Police Unit of the Civil Guard in Alicante, aided by forensic experts and European counterparts, began piecing together the puzzle. Witnesses led them to two individuals who'd been in George's company in the days before he vanished, men who quickly became prime suspects. And then on January the 7th, after an exhaustive holiday operation, police uncovered George's lifeless body, hidden in a rural area amongst the trees of Rocales. An autopsy confirmed their worst fears. He had been shot dead the same day he last spoke to his father. And just hours after the discovery, authorities made their first arrest. A 32-year-old Czech national residing in Torrevieja, believed to have played a key role as an accomplice in the murder. He was brought before a judge in Torrevieja and released with charges under strict conditions, including a travel ban. But the alleged triggerman was still on the run. According to police reports, the main suspect, a 27-year-old Irish national with a criminal record in his home country, and this is Johnny Smith, that they're talking about, fled Spain shortly before the murder, accompanied by his partner. In his haste, he abandoned even his dogs in his Orihuela home, but he left behind more than pets. He left behind a trail of evidence. Working with Interpol and Portuguese authorities, the Civil Guard's hunt finally came to a conclusion on March the 25th, when the fugitive was captured in Braga, Portugal. He was extradited to Spain on April the 3rd, and he now sits in custody under a no bail order issued by the Court of Instruction Number 1 of Badajoz. It's not Badajoz, it's Torrevieja. Oh God, why can't they get things right? It's not Badajoz, it's Court Number 1 of Torrevieja. The case has drawn praise for its swift resolution and seamless international cooperation. And the investigation led by the Pilar de la Rodada, remember I went there, Judicial Police Team and Criminalistics Lab of the Alicante Command, with assistance from European law enforcement agencies, especially in Portugal, was a testament to transnational policing at its finest. Now, I don't know how true that is because it was said that it was Billy George who had a tip-off where they were. Anyway, I don't know. So, thing is, they found him, they brought him back, he's been extradited. because he ran off, he won't be given bail. You know, Michael Malley has bail because, you know, he sort of handed himself in, I suppose. So what remains now is justice for a young man whose final visit to Spain turned into a fatal encounter, and for a father whose relentless search brought light to a hidden crime. So there you go. That's massive news. So as far as the Guardia are concerned, the case is closed. It'll go to, when I say it's closed, it's obviously not closed. And, you know, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. But, you know, this court case will come up quite soon. Most definitely. You know, as far as the Guardia are concerned, they've concluded their investigation. And in other words, they think they've got all the evidence that they need. I'd rather read it off of Spanish. I don't think I'll be able to. Just I kept going on this Todo Alicante, but it kept freezing and I couldn't read it. But I don't think it will say anything different, to be honest. Yeah, no, it won't say anything different. So there you go. So justice is coming. Justice is coming for John, and of course for his family. And yeah, can't come quick enough, really, is it? Murder's wrong. You know, there's all this talk. Obviously, John, you know, he sort of gone a little bit the wrong way in life himself, hadn't he? He had a criminal record, not for murder though, of course. And yeah, that doesn't mean that he deserved to be murdered, did it? So, and certainly his family did not deserve to be sent all over Alicante searching for him in all the wrong places. So rest in peace, John, and let's see what happens now. The court case will be very soon. Okay, thanks. Bye.